here comes the script liner brushes. Ooh, everybody's so scared of the script liner brushes. We're not going to be scared anymore, though, are we? I have two Sharon Durbin Graves here, Painting with Acrylics 101.com. I have two brushes here. One is a synthetic script liner, and the other one is a brand new, no, this is a natural hair, I'm sorry. This is a natural hair. You can see how when it dries, it gets real fluffy. And you'd think, how could you make a skinny line with that? I'm going to show you. This one is a synthetic. I've never used this one. I bought it in a pack of brushes that I wanted something else in that pack. So I've been playing, I'm going to play with this today. When you use a script liner, you need something that's more like ink and less like paint. So in acrylic paint, you would need to add some more water to it. So what I would do is normally I would dip my brush in the water and tap it off on the paper towel. I don't do that with a script liner. I dip it in the water and then I bring it over here to my paint. Here's my palette. I'm using some burnt umber today. Now I'm just rolling that around in the paint. Now with a script liner, you can't tap it. You have to get that paint and roll that brush in it. That will give it a better load. It'll be loaded better. Okay? So now you have to be back on the back of the brush. I'm sorry, there's just no other way to do it. So normally it would be like tree branches, grasses, anything like that. So let's do, I'm going to do a short tree. Okay, a little tree. So here comes, it's coming up and out. Now a script liner, particularly in the very beginning when you're first using it, you don't have a lot of paint loaded. It's hard to get it loaded in there good for the first couple of times. Now when you're done rolling it in that paint, roll it and get a good point on it. So now I'm going to come up here again. And because I'm back on the brush, I can kind of let it just kind of dance around. So now I can see some places where a branch might come off. There is a learning curve to using this brush. So don't be discouraged if you don't get it at first. I'm going to load some more paint in there. See where this kind of danced around and moved? Those are all good places to add a branch. Like, now you have to start back here and work into, there you go. You don't start where you want the branch to come out here. You start back here and come up to it. I work my way around the tree. If you work in the same place, you won't be happy with your result. You can't start on the left and work all the way around to the right and have it balanced. You need to move your brush around the tree. There, so that's basically how you would use a script liner brush. Now, that was with my, I had to rinse that out. That was with my normal natural hair brush. Now, here's my synthetic. Okay, so now I'm going to use that. We're going to do kind of the same thing. I'm going to add, I put my brush in the water. I didn't dry it off. I'm making an ink type paint with it. I'm rolling that brush around. Now let's see what we get here. It doesn't quite move to me as easily as the other one. I have to kind of force it, but it works. I'm not sure I rolled that. There we go. The other one really can get really jerky. And I like that in my tree branches. Now, pressure is huge in a script liner. See, if I push too hard, then I get that thickness, okay? So you have to kind of get a handle on that. How much pressure should I put on it? And how do I put that on it the same way throughout the tree? Whoops. Kind of made a boo-boo there. That's where I'd cover it up with a leaf. See, I don't like what happened there. So I'm going to have to practice more with a synthetic brush if I'm planning on using it much. But I've been using a natural bristle script liner for almost 20 years. So I know what it's going to do. There. Okay, so you can see the difference that you can get. This one is a lot smoother of a line than my natural hair. Now, if I wanted to do some grasses, this is another thing that takes practice with a script liner, is to get this going. That looks kind of weird, but the more you do, and you want them to go in different directions. I'm just adding some more paint to my brush over here. You don't want them all going in the same way, because field grasses would be bent. You kind of want them starting in the same point, around the same point. Okay. You want some short ones, you want some tall ones, and it's kind of a circle, really. Now, if I can come back and pick up some of the paint and not so much of the ink, I can come back here and I can put some, make some pods on my grasses. Okay, I'm going to clean that out. We're going to try it with the natural bristle. Dip it in the water, roll it in the paint, and I continually am getting, this is the glob of paint, so I'm continually swiping through there to add more paint to my inky little mess here, okay? So I'm rolling that brush, okay? So now let's see what happens with the natural bristle. So far it looks pretty much the same. Now, if you were doing a landscape painting, you would do these grasses in layers, and you would add different colors to the layer. Like you might start out with a very dark and then get some lighter grasses coming in on top. Okay, now I'm going to pick up some of that paint and see what I can do with the pods on this. Okay, so see, I don't like them. I shouldn't have done that. They're all three in a row, and that's not very good. It's not very aesthetically pleasing. These, I like them. They're really bent over good. I want to be able to touch that and pull it. So I usually use a different brush for the pods, but you can get away with it this way. So there we have some how to use the script liner brush. Remember, you have options. You have a natural hair bristle or natural hair brush or a synthetic bristle brush, and these are both script liners. They're approximately the same size. You can get them from 0 down, 10, 0, and it. Once you get the hang of how to manipulate the brush, it really doesn't matter too much what size you're working with. So thanks a lot for being with us today here in the studio, and we'll talk again soon. Have a great day.